Hey there, West Michigan meteorologist Michael Behrens here with you. Hope you've had a great start to the weekend, and I hope you've been staying warm because the temperatures out there have been a little bit on the chilly side, but don't let it fool you. It is indeed spring, and that means severe weather couldn't be, well, not too far away either, which is why I was happy to see so many people out earlier today in Muskegon taking in the latest of the National Weather Service spotter training classes. This was the last in-person class, and we had a pretty good crowd. About 70 people showed up to Muskegon Community College early this morning and certainly got a good lesson there from Ernie from the Weather Service. Now, speaking of people who showed up for that seminar, we had several geography students from Muskegon Community College and Western Michigan University. I took a photo of those guys there and went out to lunch with a couple of them as well to talk about weather and geography. Great group of students there and hoping to see some great things from them in the years to come. Now, of course, if you always have a weather question or any kind of cool weather photo, we also love to share it here at 13 on your side. You can send them to me on social media, Meteorologist Michael Behrens on Facebook and at Mike Behrens WX on Twitter and on Instagram. The high temperatures on this Saturday hit 51 in Grand Rapids, 49 Muskegon, and 48 in Holland. Those temperatures in Grand Rapids came right after midnight. The afternoon brought us back up to around 48, which is what we told you we'd hit this afternoon. Bullseye for today in the 11th day in a row inside 3 degrees. Now tomorrow, temperatures do go down just a bit, not quite enough to turn the weather ball blue though. That's why 13 weather ball is lit up in green as no change is foreseen. Nuisance precip remains in the forecast, but not enough for a blinking forecast here. So again, watch out for a little bit of rain or a few flakes, but that'll be about it. View of the 13 weather ball is sponsored by Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale. Just past 10 o'clock, temperatures are starting to drop into 30s across West Michigan, 38 Grand Rapids, 39 Muskegon and Holland. Wind chills down as far as the 20s in Grand Rapids. Winds tonight going to hang around 5 to 15 miles per hour. And as temperatures fall throughout the rest of the evening, we're certainly going to see the wind chill go down with it. Wind chills in the 20s overnight, certainly not to be unexpected. As we head through the rest of the overnight, temperatures will sort of settle into the mid 30s across the region under mostly cloudy skies with nuisance precipitation possible. That continues through the day tomorrow. Temperatures only into the mid 40s for tomorrow afternoon. The low temperature tonight we're calling 34, mostly cloudy with some scattered light rain and snow not to be ruled out. That chance goes down tomorrow, but not completely away. High 45 for your Sunday. We're done with the precipitation by Monday and temperatures will start to warm back up. High 49 by Monday afternoon. The radar across West Michigan Saturday evening showed a light scattering of some precipitation, mostly on the fringes of West Michigan, but we're not totally done with the system just yet. You can see the low pressure pushing its way across the Great Lakes with heavier precip up in northern portions of lower Michigan and over toward the east side of the state, but there's still some precipitation back in Wisconsin that has to make it through our neck of the woods before we can get completely past this weather system. The hour-by-hour forecast here shows that weather system again continue to push through as we head into Sunday. We're still on mostly cloudy conditions. Again, nuisance precipitation possible, some light rain, some light snowflakes not to be ruled out, but for the most part this is going to be very unimpactful. As we continue through Sunday evening, we'll start to push the precipitation out of here, and as we get toward Monday, the cloud cover will go with it. We'll turn partly cloudy as we head into the day Monday, but this stretch of clearer weather and drier weather is not going to last too long. As we go into Monday evening, cloud cover returns, and then you can see the moisture on the other side of the lake work its way back in here by early Tuesday morning. We're looking at scattered showers, possibly some snowflakes here across West Michigan as we go into the day on Tuesday. Don't worry about the snow though, not expecting any of it to really stick around. Mostly a rain event with some snowflakes that may fall from time to time. Now, speaking of the week ahead, let's start out with Sunday. Temperatures going to be in the mid to low 40s along the lakeshore for your Sunday. We'll see mid 40s for our northern zones with temperatures that'll hang around 45 Grand Rapids and 46 in Kalamazoo. 13 on your side, 10-day outlook. Temperatures will slowly work their way back up as we head through this week. That rain snow chance comes through on Tuesday, but it'll be followed by a quiet weather pattern as we head deeper into the week. Temperatures into the 50s and even 60s by Friday. We'll see rain chances come back into the picture as we head towards Saturday. Temperatures pushing back down some toward the weekend, but not by much. In fact, by day 10, back into the 60s. This Saturday was Earth Day, and one of the most precious resources on Earth is, of course, our fresh water. And the Great Lakes hold 90% of the United States freshwater supply. Surprisingly, though, we actually know very little about these natural wonders. In fact, barely 10% of these lakes have been mapped in the last 75 years using modern technology. Earlier this week, I spoke to one institution that's hoping to change that in order to help us better manage and preserve these precious resources.
We're vastly missing enormous amounts of information about this great resource that we need to identify so that we can better protect, manage, and sustain it for future generations.
That's Hans Van Summeren, director of the Great Lakes Water Studies Institute at Northwestern Michigan College. He's leading the charge on a project called Lakebed 2030 with the goal of mapping the entirety of the Great Lakes by the year 2030. While this may sound like a run-of-the-mill research project, Hans says the impacts of the data they collect are wide-reaching.
We're interested in how circulation and changes in the water column, the chemistry and the biology, we don't know how to do that very well if we don't have a very accurate understanding of not only just the depth, but what does the lake look like in terms of gradients of change. What are the sediments made of? Where are certain structural components of the substrate of the Great Lakes? Where do they change? All of these allow us to make better decision-making processes.
With the need for water expected to be a major stressor in the upcoming decades, Hans believes it's important to get this information as soon as possible.
The Great Lakes are home to 40 million, 50 million people who drink our water. There will be more stressors on our lake due to more people migrating to this area because of fresh water. And the understanding of the lake offers a lot of opportunity for not only existing technology, but the development of new technologies, which is something our college is heavily focused on and Lakebed heavily contributes to.
Now, when it comes to Earth Day, many people may be thinking about climate change and the impacts around the country. Those impacts, of course, going to make certain places better or worse to live in the years to come. Now, when it comes to determining what those areas are, one company is trying to answer that question. ABC News' Ginger Z explains in this Climate Minute.
A winter of prolific atmospheric rivers in the west, and more tornadoes to start the year in the east than ever recorded before. Wildfires, flooding, drought, and everything between, few places in the United States are spared from the impacts of the amplification of climate change. But now, Moody's Analytics, a popular business intelligence service, aims to use its financial risk expertise to help companies and governments anticipate where some of the riskiest and safest places are as our world warms.
I don't think there's been as much research as maybe we need around how different parts of the country are going to be affected by climate change. So what we tried to do was to take a really holistic view at different types of risk associated with climate change.
The company looked at a range of factors and created several different lists. When it comes to evaluating long-term climate risks of heat, drought, and sea level rise, the least vulnerable places to live include Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Detroit, Michigan, Knoxville, Tennessee, Warren, Michigan, Dayton, Ohio. And on the other hand, the areas most vulnerable to long-term climate risks include San Francisco, California, Cape Coral, Florida, New York City, New York, Long Island, New York, Oakland, California. If the world can aggressively reduce its emissions, this list could easily change in the coming years, or potentially get worse, depending on the global course of action. With this Climate Minute, I'm Ginger Z.
And one final environment story on this Earth Day, NASA has now implemented a new satellite that will let us monitor air quality from space. The satellite launched in early April and is called TEMPO, which stands for Tropospheric Emissions Monitoring Pollution. The satellite measures nitrogen dioxide, formaldehyde, and ozone, and it will be run by a partnership between the EPA, National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, and NASA. The device is the first space-based device to monitor major air pollutants from above. It can monitor conditions from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific and as far north as the Canadian oil sands, while going as far south as Mexico City. Now that you've been updated on the latest forecast and some weather stories from here and around the country, you can always find more at 13onyourside.com or by downloading 13 on Your Side news and weather apps. For now, though, thanks for watching 13 Plus. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens.